Hello Airsoft friends, and welcome to this video today, where today I want to talk about something which is, I don't know, I guess it's like a kind of semi-tricky topic. I don't know, it's like, it's not a super positive one, but I think at the same time there's also a very positive message that is attached to that as well. And that's kind of talking about how you respond to, I guess, like events and things happening during an Airsoft game day. So to kind of put like a bit of context, a bit of groundwork behind this, I was out playing at Mayhem Airsoft last weekend, or this Sunday just gone, and I brought a load of new people with me as well, so I was very kind of like cognizant and aware that I wanted to try and make sure that they knew what they were doing, they were in the right place, and that they were, you know, kind of enjoying the day as well. And there was a lot of kind of like preparations that we had to do. I was getting like pretty much the majority of my non-sniper arsenal together, prepped, ready to go, and so everybody had like a riff that they could use. And yeah, for the most part, like, well, not for the most part, even that, only pretty much everybody who went really enjoyed their day, and that was really great to see, because it's not really like, you know, like airsoftery people, I would say, that kind of like went and played. They're more like, you know, just kind of like general, like average people really going about living their lives, and they all really enjoyed it, which was really lovely to see. It was a nice bonding experience for all of us, and some of them even want to come again, so that's even better. But on the day itself, I guess like you could say that I was having a little bit of a mare. There was quite a few little bits which were happening which wasn't the most ideal situation, of which I'll tell you a few of them that kind of happened, and then it kind of ended up with me getting really angry, almost throwing my gun on the floor, and then just kind of like deciding I was done for the day, and then just sat down quite like meh. That's all I can really explain. I was just sat down, just staring at the side, like, oh my god. So there was just like lots of little different things that was going on in the day. There was lots of people like complaining about non-hit taking, much more than normal actually. And to be fair, by that point I hadn't really experienced anything myself, so I was still being, you know, super positive, happy clappy Larry myself, saying don't worry about it, you're probably not hitting them. And with new people as well, there is a lot of learning that you need to do with like where your BBs are going, what the trajectory is like. You could be hitting a stick, or your BBs could be dropping before you actually hit the person. So that really wasn't annoying me as much. However, these reports were going to the marshals, and the marshals on the day weren't feeding that back to the, you know, to all of the players. Usually at airsoft sites, if somebody complains about non-hit taking or something like that, then before the next game starts, the marshals will go, hey, we've had reports of people not taking their hits, we're going to be walking around, check it out, but please, you know, be very aware if you are getting hit. And you know, even if you think it's from like a teammate or something like that, if it's a ricochet, just take it anyway, just in case. There wasn't any of that on the day, and I think that was something which let down potentially the experience for people on the day, because there was no feedback to the group that something was being done about this problem. Now, it could be that there wasn't actually a problem and people were actually calling their hits. However, with there being no feedback to players about that happening, it doesn't feel like to the players who are complaining that anything is being done, because nothing is being done. There's no reiteration of, remember, call your hits, we're going to be watching you. So I think that kind of like let that snowball for both teams, because both teams were getting quite angry towards the end of the day about this specific topic, and it didn't really seem to get better at all. And that was one of the things. And you know, when people are like complaining or upset about something, it starts to bring other people down, and there was a lot of people there kind of like grumbling and moaning about it. Again, I don't know if that was the case or not, but seeing other people kind of like upset and sad, it generally does kind of like bring me down a little bit too. But anyway, that was one of the things. Then my AAP sadly has got an issue now. I think the full auto sear or semi-auto sear, whichever one of the sears in there, has broken, because now whenever I put a magazine into it, I don't even have to pull the trigger, and it just like fires on full auto constantly, and I can't do anything about it, which isn't ideal. So I need to repair the AAP, figure out what's going on with it, sort that out, and then hopefully that'll be all good again. Also, during the day, one of my red dot sights fell off a gun that I'd lent to one of my friends. Luckily, it was found at the end of the day, or during the game day, and one of the marshals gave it back to me, just like managed by coincidence, which was amazing. So that was a little bit of a downer. However, that did get resolved at the end of the day, so that was a little bit of a happy one. All of those little bits of issue kind of culminated together for me in the final game, where I was running my short stubby M4, the Ares Amoeba AM007, which was really good actually. I had lots of fun with it. It's a very good riff, so I'm going to look forward to making some gameplays with that. And I was running that, I was going up like high on a bank, and there was a sniper up there. I killed the sniper, but before, literally just as I was pulling the trigger to do a second burst at them, because I hadn't heard them shout hit yet, they then shouted hit. So I couldn't stop my burst at that point. It was like, I was like pulling the trigger, I was like, hit, and I was like, oh god, okay. So it was a very short burst, and then they started shouting back at me, and I was like, I'm sorry, dude, but I'd already started like pulling the trigger by the time you called hit, and because of how everything else had been on the day, it was like you needed to shoot people until they called hit to make sure they took the hit. So, Mr. Sniper Man, I'm very sorry that I enraged you or angered you with that second burst. I was only doing it because I hadn't heard hit yet, and by the time you shouted hit, I was already like pulling the trigger, so I do apologise for that. So I carried on along this ridge, and I was looking down, and I was like kind of popping people off from these side angles because I was getting quite up towards the enemy front line. And then I poked up behind a log, and all of a sudden like 2 or 3 people started spraying up at me, so I quickly flipped down on my back like that. But I then heard them shouting at me, take your hit. And I was like, you didn't hit me at all. I saw you, I heard the sound, and I quickly flipped over on my back. And I was just like on the floor like a turtle that couldn't get up. But I was happy I couldn't get up. And I started to inch my way kind of like backwards to get behind this log so I could then flip over and then start to engage them. To which I did, and then I was like taking them all out. I then saw the sniper kind of sneak up there, and I killed him with another burst, and I don't think that he was too happy about that. And again, I'm very sorry about the first one, but it was one of those things which it kind of like, the fact that they were shouting at me, like not just him, but also the other people down there for saying I wasn't taking my hit when 100% I hadn't been hit. I was just a bit like, just play the game. I just want to play the game. Like, after everything that's happened so far, I just want to go out, have a laugh, run with this, and get some kills. Eventually, up on that ridge, I got taken out. So, you know, I got down, went off, went back to spawn, and that was it. And I carried on, like, going around the place, going to different areas, getting kills over there, went back onto the ridgeline, got some more kills there. But eventually, I did this little run from spawn to this barricade, and I looked over to my right, and I saw an enemy player. We were kind of quite perpendicular to each other. So I got my rifle up, and I did, like, quite a long spray at him at this point, and then I let go, and by the time I let go, his spray was then kind of, like, coming into me. So then I was like, right. And I was certain that I had hit him with, like, because it was a lot of spray that I'd put over there, to be fair. It was a lot of spray. And I was 100% certain I'd hit him. Like, I could see where the BBs were, and I was so certain I'd hit him. And I, like, eventually was like, what the fuck? Okay. So then I called hit. And I could see them kind of like looking over, and after they saw that I'd called hit, they then got up and walked away, and that really frustrates me when there's people out there who like you're like kind of shooting at each other, and you know that you've hit them, but then they don't stop shooting until you then like call the hit to go out as well. It's just a little bit like, you know, I mean, I can understand, like, if they're in a similar situation, they may be, like, thinking, oh, well, I've hit you, so, you know, I'm going to keep shooting you until you call your hit, and, you know, that's just how you kind of, like, continue having the engagement. I'm sad that I didn't have my scope cam on the rifle, because if I did, I could review it and see if I was right or not right, and then that would help me to, I guess, process the situation. That's one of the great things about having cameras on your gun, is that you can always check at the end of the day what happened in those clips to see if your reaction was justified or not. And I find that's very humbling. I've had a few game days where I've looked at the footage on my scope cam and I've been like, oh, see, look, I didn't hit him. That's, yeah, I feel a bit awkward now. Because I remember at the time I was very much like, come on, dude, take it, I've seen it. Whereas I have had other times where, like, I was playing at Rift Comsite 3, and I was upset all day because I felt like I wasn't hitting anyone. Yet when I looked at the scope cam footage, I was hitting people. They just weren't calling it. So it can go one of both ways. But I had like a bit of a quick change around between those games, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go out without any cameras. I'm just going to play and see how it is. And now I wish that I had taken those few extra moments just to put my hat on, start filming, putting the camera on my rifle and film with that, just so I could have seen if I was in the right to be, you know, kind of like complaining, or not so. And yeah, but I guess we'll never know. Also, all of this kind of got compounded where in the first game I did a really cool thing. I like jumped, dive, slid down this like bank, took people out, ran up this other bank, took people out with my pistol, slid down another bank, got my DMR, shot people, and seriously, it was such a sick thing. And then I get home, and if you watched my stream yesterday, you would have seen that the only files, literally the only files that had corrupted on my GoPro were the ones from those gameplay bits. Everything else on the day was perfectly fine. And that was just like the icing on the cake. I was so sad. But then it's times like this where I come back to trying to practice stoicism. And stoicism is all about, if there's things that are under your control, then doing whatever you can to fix them and make it better. And if you can identify something that's not within your control, then just don't worry about it and move on and focus on other things in your life. Because it's much better for you to be happier than worrying about things that you can't change. So on the Airsoft game day, I should have recognised more that I had reported what I had seen to marshals, and then at that point, it's out of my control of what happens. If the marshals wanted to rebalance the teams or not, it's up to them. If they wanted to do an announcement about hit taking, it's up to them. You know, I can't force them to do anything. What I can do is just feedback to them, let them know that, you know, things are going on. If they want to change it, they can change it. If not, it doesn't matter. And at that point, it's out of my control. So I should just not worry about anything that happens from that point onwards. And it's the same with the footage. At this point, I know those files are lost. I know that they're corrupt, and I could potentially spend a load of time trying to, I guess, fix them somehow, even though they won't even get recognized. Like the memory card just says it's corrupt when I put it into my computer. So I could spend all the time getting like maybe a Linux install so I can get the files and then try and fix them that way. But at the end of the day, I don't really have the time to do that. I can't justify that expenditure for what the outcome is going to be. So it's just something which I just have to leave for, you know, just leave alone and just accept that those clips aren't there anymore. And I guess just when I play again in future, I know that that was something really cool that I did. So maybe try and emulate that again so I can get footage of that in future for you guys to enjoy. So yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, you could say, and I feel like I'm doing much better now coming out the other end of it. I'm just trying to smile through all of that pain. But I guess, you know, at the end of the day, it's the same thing with everything in life. We are the ones who control how we feel and how we react to certain situations. If we see somebody who got hit, and it's like super blatant and they don't call it, it's up to us to decide how we respond. We can either go, oh, that sucks, and then carry on, or we can start throwing our toys out of the pram and get super upset about it. But ultimately, it doesn't matter to anyone else if we're super upset about something. If anything, if we're super upset about something, it's only going to bring other people down. So if we're walking around shouting, oh, they're not taking their hits, all that's going to do is just have a negative impact on other people, and that's not really something that I want to do. So if you're at Mayhem and you saw me be grumpy, I'm very sorry about that. There was a lot of different things that had happened throughout the day, and it all compounded together. And yeah, it's like the first time ever I've been playing where I physically like went to throw my gun on the floor, and then I caught myself, and then I just went, okay, I'm done, I'm going, and then I just like walked out and went to the safe zone. So yeah, if you saw me be all grumpy and stuff, I do apologize. It's not how I am, like 99% of the time. I'm always like the happy, positive, everything's okay, you probably just didn't hit them kind of guy. But this day, there was just a lot of issues that added on top of each other, and it was too much, man. It was just too much. But here I am now. I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling okay. I've had a rest. You know, I've had a Kit Kat, and I'm feeling much better about it. So yeah, it's don't worry about things that you can't change, because there's no point in worrying about it. Worrying about it's not going to do anything. And if you can change it, then do whatever you can to change it. That is the way of the Stoic. So yeah, I know now that I need to work more on that. I thought I was better at it than I am, but no, I need to work more on that, and that's something that I'm going to do. Huge shout out to all of my wonderful patrons for supporting the channel. Tomorrow we are doing a live stream where we're going to announce the winner of the Well MBO1 Airsoft Sniper Rifle, which is where my little tiddly finger is there. Ooh, I'm tickling it. There we go. We're going to be doing the draw for that, and one of our lovely patrons will win that. I don't think you can now enter. I think it may be too late to get in on that one if you haven't joined already. However, if you do join the Patreon, there's a link below in the description, then you can get entered into next month's one. You have to be either a Legend, Airsoft Legend, or Airsoft Royalty tier member, and yeah, you'll get entered into that, and then we can see if you win a fancy prize. Also, big shout out to the StayFreshShoe community Discord. You are amazing, and if you want to make some Airsoft friends, make sure you jump into there, join that as well. And check out Project Airsoft. It's I've finished my little move about of things, so that's really cool. And it's almost time to add a load new items on there as well. So there's going to be some new stuff going on there very, very, very shortly. All of the prices on the website have changed, or like 90% of everything on there, the prices have changed. The reason being, I've now split out postage from items, because originally it was free postage on everything. But if you bought multiple items, you would then be like adding up the postage bits. And I was like, wait a minute, no, I don't want to do that anymore. So what I've done is everything on the website has now had the price taken down, and now you would pay postage at the end as well. But the benefit of that is now, like, if you buy one item, the price is essentially exactly the same. But if you buy more than one item, you're going to be paying less overall anyway than before, and the postage will change depending on how many bits that you buy. So yeah, enjoy that. It took me a while to get done, but that's all done now, which is great. And new items will be going onto the website very soon, and when they do, I'll do a video talking about it as well. And if I get it done in time for the stream tomorrow, I may show you some of them on the stream tomorrow as well. So that is very exciting, and yeah, I'm excited for that. But that being said, thank you very much. Check out projectairsoft.co.uk. Remember to call your hits, and remember to be happy as well. It's important to be happy, so please be happy, enjoy life, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.